Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Taipei. And what we're doing is we're taking a little half-day trip or so out of the main part of the city. And we're going to come up and we're going to look at the Beitou Hot Springs Valley. It's kind of a cool little area. I've been up here before. I was looking at weather today that the sun came out. I was like, I'm going to go up there and see the hot springs. And then it clouded up and it's getting windy and cold, so I'll probably have to break out the jacket here in a little bit. But anyway, we won't be deterred. Yeah, we're going to take a look at this Hot Springs Valley, and it's got quite a bit of little stuff here. There's a free museum, there's a really cool river and a park and some stuff like that. So let's see what we see there. And getting here is super easy. You can take a spur line off of the red line, the Tamsui line, and it takes you right over here to this Xinbeitou station. This is the new MRT, and what's cool is right here next to it is the 200-year-old railroad station, and they have a little museum over here also. So we'll take a look at it and then we'll start walking up into the valley. This is the old train station that was built by the Japanese when they were here. And what's interesting is they actually dismantled this building and they moved it to another location whenever they built the MRT. And there was enough public outcry that they wanted it to be returned. So they brought it back over here and rebuilt it. It's kind of cool, it has a copper roof and everything. You can see how green it is. And then they have an old railway carriage over here. And it's closed off today. I'm not sure what's going on here. They're doing a little maintenance here. We can go in there and you can take a look at it. This is a Japanese train that was built in Germany, and it was brought in here, and this is from 1969 or so. And the people come over here to take pictures. You can actually scan this little number here on the side, and you can go to YouTube and learn a little bit more about it. Yeah, pretty cool building. This was originally opened up, it was kind of a breezeway down below, and whenever they rebuilt it, they added the windows and stuff like that. Looks like it's getting ready to open up here in a little bit, but anyway, this is just mildly entertaining. It's not the highlight. We'll go up into the valley now. So it's about a 15-20 minute walk or so up to the free museum and the plum garden and stuff like that. And it's pretty gentle. There's a couple stairs, but it's not too bad, just a little bit of an incline. And so right here they actually have some of the hot springs water. So you can stick your hand in here and it's coming out of the hot springs, and it gets up to 90 degrees, 90 to 100 degrees coming out of the hot springs, and then it cools off quite a bit as it comes down the valley. I think it's around 40, 41 or so right there, which is kind of nice. Now the Japanese used this. They would come over here and it had the sulfur, and kind of gave the water a blue color, and they said it had some healing properties. So it was a huge popular place during the Japanese colonial era. They built the first hotels up here, I think in 1896 or something like that. And then it is what it is today. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go up. And all through this area, this road does a little loop way up there. And there's a bunch of hot springs hotels and local restaurants and stuff like that. This here's a nice little park. This is the Beitou Park, and it's a nice little pleasant walk as we go up. And we'll see the river and the library and stuff like that up in here. And here's the park. They have bamboo, stuff like that growing here, and some of the little lotuses. And then the river just kind of crisscrosses down through here. Now in the 90s, this area was in really bad straits. It was really a depressed economy up in here. A lot of the buildings and everything were abandoned, and they couldn't use this little river here. It was so polluted that they couldn't get any of the the minerals and stuff like that out of the hot springs. And they've since came back in here and revitalized this effort. And the museum that's up here used to be one of the old hot springs, and the students saw that it was abandoned. They were using it as a film studio, and the economy was so bad that they just abandoned it, and the building was falling apart. So the school kids actually initiated a project to come over here and restore it. because they were going by it all the time and they were like, it was so sad that the building was in bad shape. So this is a really cool 4-story library here. And you can see the little river going through. And they actually still say that the Beitou stream contains domestic sewage. It is not recommended that people enter the stream. But it looks like they've really done a nice job with cleaning it up. And have some nice little water lilies here. Pretty cool tree with all those roots going over. Yeah, this is a pretty little park here. Yeah, that's the library. What a cool building. Kind of looks like a boat on the front. And then it just goes right up in here is more of the park. This here is the museum. Yeah, it's a beautiful building. And this is the one that the school kids initiated the restoration of. And down in the bottom is a huge pool that they used to use for the hot springs. Yeah, a little river. It's a little low right now. I think rainy season this would be rocking. Now there's a mineral here that's found only here and in one place in Japan that is like a little radioactive isotope thing, and it's named after this area. And it's quite famous. I can't remember the name offhand. We'll see it whenever we go into the museum. Okay, so this is the sign that tells you. It's the Hokutolite. That is the little mineral that was discovered here. And this is the preserve. So it was discovered in 1912 by a Japanese scientist. And it's only found in 2 locations in the world. So it's kind of a big thing here. You can see all the hot springs hotels and stuff like that. Yeah, really a pleasant little stream here. You can see how green and lush the hills are. This right here is an actual hot springs. You can still go in there and use this. So the entrance is on the other side. You gotta have your swimsuit. I don't have it today, so we're not gonna go in there. This is kind of interesting here. So this area used to be really popular for Taiwanese movies to come over here and be filmed. And this is Half Moon Bridge. It's a reinforced concrete bridge. It's built like in the 1950s, and it had like the little arches over there. And they did a movie here, Guitar in the Hot Springs, that was hugely popular. And then they changed the name to this to Guitar Bridge. Now they made movies here, and in the 70s there was a crackdown on like the entertainment district here. This was they made a lot of movies. They also had kind of a den of prostitution up in here, and so the government made all the movies do everything in Mandarin, and it kind of hurt the way they could do their movies. And then they cracked down on prostitution, so this kind of everything folded up here. There was like 40 businesses that closed up. There was a lot of American GIs that came over here and other people, so whenever that happened, this place all closed up. And then it started getting revitalized in the 90s whenever they brought the MRT line back over here, and it made it to where they could open everything back up and people could rediscover this little charming little valley. Kind of a cool bridge that they put the glass in. This is the entrance over here to the Hot Springs Valley, and you can go up this way. There's a temple up there, the Pui Temple, and then there's the old Taiwan Bank dormitory up there also. All right, so this is the way up into the hot springs. So it's 160 meters up into the thermal valley, they call it. And they have little shops and stuff here. Looks like parking is a bit of a challenge. All right, so here's the water coming out of the hot springs. So it's 43.2 right now. So up at the very top, it comes out, it's 90 degrees. That feels quite nice. Now they don't let you into the hot springs up here anymore. They used to allow the locals to come over here and cook eggs and stuff like that in the water, but that's been banned. Now the valley also has a legend back whenever this was the indigenous people here. They saw the smoke or the steam coming off the water, and they knew it as like a witch, and it had become a legend with that was a ghost or whatever up in here. Kind of a cool area though. So I have a little coffee shop. Now this is closed on Mondays, so you won't be able to come up here. It's open Tuesday through Sunday. I think it opens at 10 a.m. So if you wanted to avoid the crowds, get up here first thing. It would also be pretty nice. Maybe a little bit more steam coming off. Oh, how cool is that? Just rising up in the trees. Yeah, so you can do a loop around and enjoy this. This is really kind of cool. Now there's a nature park or a national park that's just to the north of here also, that you can go in and see the dormant volcano. And they say there's a few places that have the steam geysers and stuff coming out that you could see. I've never been up there. Oh, really cool. You can just feel the heat and humidity coming off of this. Oh, this is really something here. Oh, and right next to it you have, check this out, these trees, and then they have a little waterfall right here. Yeah, so this one is cold water. You can feel the contrast of standing here compared to right here with the hot springs. Oh, this is fantastic. And all that steam way up in the trees. Yeah, you can just do a little loop around this in the thermal valley here. Yeah, really quite cool with that wind blowing through and causing the plume to go up. And this nice little wooden walkway around. You see some of the houses here. And there's just tons and tons of hot springs hotels all through this little valley. A lot of people come and do like a staycation here. They'll stay at the hotel, and then they have the hot springs and stuff. Okay, so we've seen all this in here. Let's go up to our next thing and kind of enjoy the rest of this little thermal valley. And nice little tree cover here. I don't know if it's better to come in the wintertime. I'd probably say wintertime would be the best to come up here. Spring, fall would be all right also. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So we'll walk down here and then we'll walk up this way over to the Pui Temple. It's a Japanese temple up here on the hill. Right, so it looks like over here is the Pui Temple. So this was originally a Japanese temple during the colonial era. And after 1945, it was a Japanese Shinto temple, and then a local monk took this over and converted it. So this is the way in. You can see the sign right here. We gotta climb a few steps to get up in here. That's the little gate. Yeah, kind of a cool gate. And this is the wash your hands or something here. Now this, do whatever you do with it. All right, so let's climb up these stairs and see what this looks like. And so I guess with that water, what you do is you do left hand, then you wash your right hand, and then you clean your mouth, and then you get some more water to clear off the path, and it purifies you before you go to the temple. Yeah, so here's the little temple. Yeah, very, very nice. Nice little area here. Place here for the incense. So inside they have the place to pray here, make the donations. And then up there, that is their deity, their little amulets and stuff like that. Yeah, cool little building. Has a bell and stuff. Looks like a place over here for the workers. Oh, and then they have a little tablet over here. Yeah, it's interesting enough. This is right next to that main building. They have like a little shrine here. So that's their little deity. And they have all this stuff there. And a place to sit here and pray. And some lilies. And then they have this standing image right here. Yeah, that's the whole grounds. It's a small little temple, but kind of cool. Got to come up, I don't know, 100 steps or so to get up here. Oh, the flowers are blooming out nice. All right, so that's that little temple up here. Kind of a nice little place to stop after the hot springs. All right, so we'll go back down these stairs and then we'll go down the hill and we'll stop at that little museum. Okay, so we're almost back over here. So the plum house right here, the plum garden, is closed for renovation until 2026 or so. And then over here, this is the hot springs. Okay, so everybody's lined up here. So it's $60 to go in there, and the next session is like at 1:30 until 4. They have sessions that you can go in and sit in the hot springs. And you got to wear the swimsuit. So the outlet temperature is 90 degrees here. And everybody here is waiting to go in. And here's the museum. Down there in the basement, they have the old hot springs pools that you could get in. Now it's all closed off. Okay, so here we are. This is the little museum. So it's 10 to 6 and it's free to go in. Okay, so this is the queue to get in, and you have to take your shoes off, and then they give you little slippers to wear. Okay, so this is the museum here. Now this, I believe, is built in 1903. They have some interactive displays, everything else in here. This is where people would have came back in the day, and they would have relaxed and stuff up here. Kind of a cool view down the little valley. This is how it originally looked here, and there would have been like fountains and stuff out here. That's kind of the footprint of an old fountain when the Japanese were doing this. Let's go downstairs and we'll look at the old thermal bath down here. So there's places like this that you would have came and took a shower before you got in the thermal. And some of the old pots right here. This talks about the different color of water. The green sulfur and the white sulfur. And down here was the old steam bath. We'll walk around and we'll look at it really quick. And there's some really cool old pictures of back what it looked like. A lot of these were like just thatch roof buildings, and people would come out here and enjoy the thermal baths. Here's some like the movies and stuff that they made. And here's the old thermal bath. So the whole reason for this place. And this building, I think, like I said, was built in 1903. And then it fell into disrepair in the 60s and 70s. And then they restored it again in like 1996. And then here's that mineral, that Hokutolite. Hokutolite, or however you say it. And that's an 800 kilogram chunk of it right there. Talks about when it was discovered and how it occurs. Kind of a nice little museum here. Definitely worth the free price of admission. Okay, so we're done in here. You can spend as much time as you want reading all the little data plates. It's pretty interesting. Everything's in English and in Chinese. I'll take one more little look here at this area. There's the library, which is a cool building, and then the museum. It's a nice little view from up there on that little balcony of the whole valley. Yeah, really, really nice. Well, that'll finish up our video over here at this Beitou, or however you say, Beitou hot springs. This is pretty cool. The whole little valley here is interesting and fun to come over here and take a look at. The little walk through the park and everything is nice, and then go up and look at that little temple. Now you can go up the hill to the museum. There's a private museum up there that's separate than this one, and it's like $120 to get in, and it's about a kilometer walk uphill. So definitely, if you want to go up there and you don't want to walk, I would jump on a taxi and take it up there. It's a little bit harder to get to than this part. This is easy, just walk up here from the MRT station. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and you get to see more content like this of stuff that I do and tell you a little bit about what I know. I'm not an expert, but I like going and seeing stuff like this. So if you do, then subscribe and you get to see more videos like this. And if you have any questions or comments, or if you've been here, let me know what you thought. And until next time, from over here in Taipei, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.